Taurus, I didn't choose these words. They were placed in my mind to reach you. Right now, as you read this, there's a higher power watching your reaction, gauging your openness, evaluating whether you're ready to know the truth about the days that have been marked especially for you. I'm not talking about coincidences or possibilities. I'm talking about dates already written in a divine calendar that bears your name. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That pressure in your chest that appears out of nowhere, that inexplicable weight that wakes you up, knowing something is different, even when everything seems the same. That inner voice, whispering that you're being prepared for something that will completely redefine what it means to be alive. Don't ignore these feelings. They are warnings that you're approaching the days God has set aside specifically for you. I need you to understand something that goes against everything you've been taught about control and planning. There are moments in life that don't depend on your decisions, your efforts, or your will. There are days that were determined even before you were born, where invisible forces will directly influence your reality. And you, stubborn Taurus, who always believed you could shape your destiny through persistence and hard work, will discover that some chapters of your story were already written in divine ink. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal exactly what these appointed days are for you. I'll show you the signs that have already begun to appear in your life, indicating that you're entering the zone of influence of these predestined moments. And most importantly, I'll prepare you to recognize when God's hand moves in your life so clearly that it'll be impossible to deny that something much greater is orchestrating the events around you. Are you ready to discover that you may never have had as much control over your life as you imagined? God chose you to receive direct intervention, not because you asked for it, not because you deserve it more than others, but because the time has come in your evolution where you can bear the weight of the truth about who you really are and what your role in this world is. Most people live their entire lives without ever experiencing obvious divine intervention. They receive small nudges, subtle directions, blessings in disguise, but you will experience something completely different. On the days set for you, the curtain between the visible and the invisible will be temporarily removed. You will witness synchronicities so precise that your rational mind will be unable to explain them. Doors that have been locked for years will open spontaneously. People who can completely change your life will appear as if sent directly to you. Opportunities that seemed impossible will materialize with an ease that will leave you speechless. But here's the part that might scare you. Along with these obvious blessings, you'll also be forced to confront truths about yourself that you've been avoiding for years. God doesn't make partial interventions. When He decides to transform a life, He transforms everything. The beautiful parts and the parts you'd rather hide, the talents you waste and the fears that paralyze you. The extraordinary abilities you possess and the self-imposed limitations you've used as excuses to live a life less than the one you were meant for. During these marked days, you will be confronted with a version of yourself you may not even know exists. A courageous, powerful, magnetic version capable of impacting the world in ways that today seem fanciful. And you will realize that the only difference between who you are now and who you can become is the courage to stop hiding behind excuses about security and stability. Are you ready to discover that true security comes from being completely yourself, not from protecting yourself from your own potential? Taurus, I know you're afraid of changes you can't control, afraid of leaving the comfort zone you've so carefully built. Afraid of discovering that you may have spent years living a life that wasn't truly yours, just one that felt safe and predictable. But I need you to understand, the fear you feel isn't intuition warning you of real danger. It's resistance from your small mind trying to keep you trapped in a limited version of who you can be. God knows your fears better than you do. He knows every excuse you've used, every opportunity you've missed, every dream you've abandoned in the name of practicality. And yet, even knowing all your limitations and resistance, He chose you to receive this special intervention. This should tell you something about what he sees in you that you can't yet see in yourself. The days you've been destined for aren't punishment for past mistakes. They're redemption. They're the opportunity to finally align your external life with your internal greatness. They're the moment when all the experiences you've lived, including the painful ones, will make sense as preparation for who you're about to become. Every disappointment you faced was strengthening your ability to value what's genuine. Every frustration was teaching you to recognize what truly matters. Every moment of solitude was preparing you for a connection so deep with yourself that you'll never again need the validation of others to know who you are. In recent years, you've probably wondered why certain things weren't flowing in your life, why you felt stuck even though you were doing everything right by conventional standards. The answer is that you were being prevented from settling for situations that were too small for your soul. God was protecting you from settling for anything smaller than your true destiny. Every door that closed, every no you received, every plan that went awry, were divine redirections leading you toward the days specifically marked for you. For Tauruses born between April 20th and April 30th, these marked days are connected with a revelation about your personal power of influence. You'll discover a natural ability to inspire and transform others that was completely underutilized. For those born between May 1st and 10th, divine intervention will reveal creative talents or special abilities that were dormant, waiting for the right moment to emerge. And for those born between May 11th and 20th, these marked days will bring absolute clarity about a specific mission you came to fulfill in this life, something that will give profound meaning to all your previous experiences. But regardless of when you were born, all Tauruses chosen for this intervention will experience something in common: the feeling of finally living their real life, as if until now you've been rehearsing, preparing, waiting. And on the days appointed by God, the main play of your existence will finally begin. Do you have the courage to abandon the supporting role in your own life and assume the leading role that has always been yours by right? What strikes me about your specific situation is the precision with which everything is being orchestrated. Every person who has entered your life recently, every book that has caught your attention, every conversation that has made you reflect on your future, every moment of unease you've felt, all of this is part of a greater plan to prepare you for the days ahead. Nothing was accidental, nothing was coincidental, everything was carefully arranged so that when the moment of divine intervention arrived, you would be in the ideal mental and emotional state to receive it. You've been observed. Your reactions have been analyzed. Your ability to cope with change has been tested through small situations that seemed isolated but were actually preparations. And now that you've passed all the preliminary tests, demonstrating your readiness for something bigger, it's time for graduation. It's time for you to discover why you were born, exactly when you were born, exactly where you were born, with exactly the characteristics you possess. During your designated days, you will experience moments of clarity so intense it will feel as if someone has turned on a cosmic light in your mind. Insights into your past will explain patterns you've never understood. Visions of your future will give you clear direction for your next steps. And most importantly, a deep connection with your purpose that will make all your previous concerns about material security seem insignificant compared to the security that comes from knowing exactly why you are here. Taurus, one of the most shocking revelations you'll experience during these special days is discovering that you've always had access to inner resources you never knew existed. Capabilities of manifestation, intuition, connection with others, and creation have been dormant, waiting for the right moment to be activated. It's as if you've lived your entire life using only 10% of your true potential, and on God's appointed days, the other 90% will finally be unleashed. The transformation you'll experience won't just be personal, it will reverberate throughout your life and impact everyone around you. When someone finally embraces their true greatness, it creates ripples that spread far beyond their immediate circle of influence. You'll become a living example that it's possible to transcend limitations that seemed permanent. You'll show others that they too can choose to stop living as small versions of themselves. And here's something that might surprise you. The responsibility that comes with this transformation will feel natural to you. Instead of overwhelming you, it will energize you, because you'll finally be doing what you were created to do. You'll finally be using your unique talents the way they were meant to be used. You'll finally be living a life that makes sense to your soul, not just to your mind that craves security and predictability. The days God has ordained for you aren't just about external changes. They're primarily about an internal revolution in how you see and value yourself. For years, you may have defined yourself by your fears, your limitations, your past failures. But on these special days, you will redefine yourself through your potential, your capabilities, your future possibilities. And this shift in perspective about yourself will alter literally everything in your external reality. When you begin to see yourself as God sees you, as an extraordinary being temporarily pretending to be ordinary, your energy shifts, your presence shifts, the way you move through the world shifts, and consequently, the opportunities that present themselves in your life shift. The people who are drawn to you shift. The results you can create shift. Everything transforms because you've finally stopped relating to yourself based on your limitations and started relating to yourself based on your divine potential. On the days specifically designed for you, you'll discover that God has a very different view of your capabilities than you imagined. Where you see weaknesses, He sees areas for growth. Where you see limitations, He sees opportunities for expansion. Where you see flaws, He sees unique characteristics that make you perfect for a specific mission that only you can fulfill. And when you finally see yourself through God's eyes, you'll wonder how you managed to live so long underestimating your own magnificence. The intervention coming into your life is not something you can speed up or slow down. It has its own rhythm, its own wisdom, its own way of unfolding. But what you can do is prepare yourself internally to receive it without resistance. And that means being willing to let go of all the limited identities you've constructed for yourself over the years. Being willing to question all beliefs about what is possible or impossible for someone like you. Being willing to expand your definition of who you are to include possibilities that currently seem unrealistic. During these marked days, you'll be called to make decisions that go against your cautious nature. You'll be asked to trust processes you can't completely control. You'll be challenged to act based on intuition and inspiration rather than just detailed analysis and planning. And here's the incredible thing. When you make these seemingly risky choices, they'll yield such positive and surprising results that you'll understand the real risk was continuing to live small and controlled. Taurus, there's something God wants you to know about yourself that will completely change your perspective on your past life. All the moments when you felt different, out of place, as if you didn't quite fit in, weren't signs that something was wrong with you. They were signs that you don't belong in ordinary places. You were made for extraordinary spaces, for special situations, for unique impacts. The restlessness you've always felt wasn't a flaw or chronic dissatisfaction. It was your soul recognizing that you were living below your true potential. It was your spirit refusing to settle for anything less than what you were created for. And on the days specifically designed for you, this restlessness will finally find its purpose. It will transform into the energy that will propel you to levels of life you never knew existed. Signs that these special days are approaching have already begun to appear in your life. Have you noticed an increase in the synchronicity of events? Conversations that happen exactly when you need to hear certain information. People who appear at the right moment with the right words. Opportunities that arise unexpectedly. as if someone were organizing the details behind the scenes. These aren't coincidences, they're preparations. God is aligning all the necessary pieces so that when your appointed days arrive, everything is in place for the transformation to happen as fluidly and powerfully as possible. Each synchronicity you notice is like confirmation that you're on the right path, that you're being guided, that you're not alone in this process. Also, pay attention to your dreams during this period of preparation. They may begin to contain clearer messages about your future, about the capabilities you'll discover within yourself, about the opportunities that are approaching. Your conscious mind may not be ready to process all this information yet, but your subconscious mind is already being prepared for the expansion that's coming. And notice how you've been feeling about change recently. If you, who normally resist changes in your routine, have been feeling strangely open to new things, this is a sign that your psyche is preparing for the greater transformations that are coming. If you've felt an inexplicable courage growing within you, a willingness to try things that previously scared you, this indicates that you are being internally strengthened for the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. On the days God has ordained for you, one of the most profound experiences you'll have is a sense of recognition, as if you're finally seeing your true life after years of seeing only a reduced and distorted version. As if you're finally hearing your true voice after years of hearing only muffled echoes. As if you're finally feeling your true power after years of experiencing only fragments of its full force. This sense of recognition will be accompanied by deep gratitude, but also a certain sadness for the time you spent living below your means. It's natural to feel some regret for what could have been different if you had discovered your truth sooner. But understand that every year of preparation was necessary. Every experience you had, even those that seemed like a waste of time, was building the foundation of wisdom and resilience you need to sustain the greatness you're about to assume. When God sets specific days to transform a life, He also ensures that the person is ready to handle what comes after the transformation. Because with great power comes great responsibility. With great capabilities comes great opportunities for impact. With great visibility comes great influence over others. And all of this requires an emotional and spiritual maturity that you have gradually developed over the years, often without realizing it. The transformed version of you that will emerge on the appointed days won't be a completely different person. It will be you, finally being your true self. All the qualities you've always possessed, but which were diluted or hidden, will manifest in their full potential. Your natural generosity will become magnetism for abundance. Your persistence will become an unstoppable force of creation. Your loyalty will become a deep commitment to your mission. Your quest for security will become the ability to create real stability for yourself and others. Taurus, in the days leading up to your appointed days, you may begin to feel a growing anticipation, an energy of expectation that you can't fully explain. Sometimes it can be exciting, sometimes it can be a little scary. This is completely normal when you're about to cross a portal into a whole new level of existence. Your soul knows what's coming and is preparing, even if your conscious mind doesn't yet have all the details. Trust this process. Trust that you weren't randomly chosen for this experience. Trust the wisdom that brought you to this point and that will guide you through the transformation that lies ahead. And most importantly, trust your own ability to grow to meet the extraordinary opportunities that are approaching your life. The days God has marked for you are not just about personal change. They are about the specific role you will play in the larger plan unfolding in the world right now. You are part of a global awakening movement where people like you are being activated to take on positions of leadership, inspiration, and positive transformation in their communities and beyond. Don't underestimate the importance of your participation in this movement. Don't minimize the impact you can have when you're finally operating at your full capacity. Every person touched by your transformation has the potential to transform others, creating ripples of positive change that spread far beyond what you can immediately see. You are being prepared not only to change your own life, but to be a catalyst for change in the lives of many others. When your appointed days arrive, remember that you have all the divine support you need to successfully navigate this transformation. You are not doing this alone. You have the accumulated wisdom of all your past experiences. You have the strength you've developed by overcoming previous challenges. You have the intuition that has deepened through moments of reflection and growth. And most importantly, you have the presence and support of a greater power that knows you better than you know yourself, and that is committed to your success. If this message reached you at this time, it's because you are energetically aligned with the frequency of this approaching transformation. This means you're already in the process of preparing, that your consciousness is already expanding to receive what's coming. Share in the comments if you've been feeling this growing anticipation, these signs that something important is approaching in your life. Your experiences will help other Taurians recognize divine preparations in their own lives. Subscribe to the channel now, because the days God has planned for you are just the beginning of an extraordinary new phase of your existence. You will need guidance on how to integrate the revelations that will come, how to handle the new responsibilities that will arise, how to navigate the new reality you will be creating. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any guidance that can support you in this divine transformation. The days God has specifically designated for you are approaching. Preparation is almost complete. Now all that's left is to be open to receiving the transformation that will completely redefine what it means to be you. Trust the process, trust the plan, trust that you have been chosen for something extraordinary. Your real life is about to begin.